hidden knowledge of the breath, and really the science of breathing. A lot of people have been hitting me up lately asking about how do I start getting into meditation or breath work, and how can I use breath work for healing or activation. A lot of people have seen, and I have tons of content on energy work, on subtle breath work activation, esoteric anatomy, you name it. And that's all very advanced stuff. In this video, I want to address some of the simple points of getting into the breath work and what's important there. Just kind of open up that whole space. And this is really vital information for this time. Breath is the key to facilitate internal transformation and external transformation. It is our link to spirit, and it is the mediator which can create a new harmony, a new order in the body. Anything that we want to give birth to, we must breathe life into. We must learn to use the breath in our will once more. So my friends, this is kind of an introductory video. I want to get into a basic breath practice that can lead us into the more subtle energy work type stuff. And I encourage you, again, please share this video and hit that like button. And if you want to get my breathwork basic training guide, link in the description for that, and that's going to take you real deep here. Let's move on. So I'm Kristian, this is Reality Files, this is the breathwork basics. My friends, breath is spiritus. Spirit is to breathe. God breathed life into the heavens and expanded it. Breath is the source of life, okay? And prana and breath are one and the same. Breathing, we breathe on two levels. There's a heavy breath and a subtle breath. The heavy breath we breathe through our physical lungs. And the subtle breath is actually something we're breathing through our subtle body. You see, we have a physical body that's made up of, we have the circulatory system, the skeletal system. Then we have the nervous system getting a little more subtle. What's behind the nervous system is the akasa, or, the subtle energy system. So many different cultures have their own, go about with this, whether it's meridians, chakras, kundalini, vril, you name it, okay? So within that, my friends, breathwork, the ultimate goal of breathwork is not to just learn how to breathe physical breaths and create some kind of chemical transmutation in the physical body. No, breathwork is there for the discovery and cultivation of a subtle perception, of a subtle awareness of that breath behind this heavy breath. With that light breath, we have the capacity to charge vital magnetism, to recharge our aura, to recharge really anything, to do magic, and to access heightened states of consciousness through that perception, right? So that's kind of like, if we're getting into the Merkaba, right? If we're getting into magic, that's kind of the awareness we need to cultivate. But it starts at the physical being, in the physical body. Now the breath, honestly, is the key to such tremendous amounts of healing in the physical vehicle. We are all so blocked up. Poison, toxic, we have blockages, circulatory, like toxins, it's a mess, my friends, ultimately. But breathing reduces inflammation. Breathing, right, brings us back into parasympathetic nervous system, where all healing takes place. By doing full, deep, slow breathing, we actually can allow our mind to enter into trance, which is what our mind loves to do. It's where our mind expands, processes, integrates. It heals a lot of neuroses by getting into that trance state. The body reduces inflammation, oxygenates the blood, brings us into a state of consciousness, right? Where we can hit these higher frequencies, heightened states of consciousness, where our awareness can really expand. And that can only happen, my friends, starting with the physical body, because the body is the vehicle of consciousness. By learning to do deep breathing in this cycle breathing method I'm about to share with you guys, what we can start to do is actually begin to fully inhabit the body. By learning to fully inhabit the body and start breathing through the whole body and using breath control, after practice in cultivating this technique, we'll have the capacity to powerfully influence our nervous system and state of being through the breath. This is a superpower. Most people live out their days in constant reaction to states of feeling that is created inside the body. But breath gives you back the sovereignty. It gives you back the peace that's like, wow, I'm in command in here, right? So this is why breathing is so important to me, because it practices that sovereign peace inside of us and gives us the power to powerfully influence our internal state, our vital magnetic field, and the vital magnetism of others. This is magic. On a physical level, getting back to it, my friends, how we want to start is we have a lower dantian, and this is the portal into the body from the below. That lower dantian is right beneath your belly button, okay? This practice, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in life, okay? And we're going to exhale into presence. So what we're going to do is relax our whole body and start breathing and feeling the body, right? Feeling the breath. Create awareness of your body. And we're going to take a slow and full, deep inhale as if you're breathing through, that lower abdomen area. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, right? And expand. At the top of the breath, we're going to pressurize. We're going to hold and lock, meaning that we're going to actually contract the muscles around the anus, around the pelvic floor, around the lower abdomen. We're going to contract that and actually create pressure in the body. Okay? This pressure, we're going to feel it rise up our spine, into our sinuses, into our head, right? Through our lungs, through all the spaces, through all the lymph in the body. And we get to why we do that in a second. Then we're going to exhale slowly. On that exhale, what we're going to do is allow that fire to rise and witness the light shine forth. So we breathe in all life and power of the universe. We breathe in Shakti, right? And when we exhale, we pull the energy up, right? And draw it up the spine and witness the light shining forth, right? You become a vehicle of light. When we exhale into presence. We're letting go of all. We're accepting the voids, accepting the emptiness inside, right? Until we're finally empty, and then we sit there in that total emptiness, right? We push out the last bit of oxygen in the lungs, and we sit there for just a moment or a few seconds, and we witness stillness, and we blend with the stillness all around us. We blend with the harmony of nature all around us. So at the beginning, my friends, I gave a brief overview of what that breath looks like. And essentially what you want to do is maybe start at 3 seconds in, 3 second hold, 3 seconds out, 3 second hold, right? And as you progress, as that gets easier, move it up. Essentially, I don't count, but I let my own body and my own homeostasis determine, the right pattern for me, until you can get to the point where you're almost breathing one breath a minute, right? Where you're breathing so fully, so slowly, it's almost silent. This is where you want to get to. And just by doing this for 5 minutes, just by doing this for 10 minutes, right? What we're going to do is liberate energy from the body back into consciousness and enter into a trance of life force. My friends, for the majority of the time, our consciousness is trapped in the base energy centers of the physical body. Those base centers are associated with survival, fight or flight, consumption, defecation, sex, a lot of base things. So if we're thinking angry thoughts, frustrated thoughts, we're consuming, we're craving, whatever it is, that's energy locked and being consumed by the physical body in the lower centers. By practicing the breath and that sovereign will inside of us, we liberate that energy back into life force, back into energetic potential, back into potency, right? So as our energy levels rise, right, and our mind enters in trance, meaning that it begins to settle and harmonize, we can access higher states of consciousness. Furthermore, by doing that breath practice and pulling the energy up, this is the microcosmic orbit. This microcosmic orbit is what raises Kundalini energy, or the cerebral spinal fluid, back into the brain. Right? So when we breathe down, we breathe in life into our physical being, right? And when we exhale, we pull it up the spine and let the fire rise, let the light shine forth. So a lot was said just there. I want to get into the physical effects of health and regeneration from doing this breath pattern and where we can go with it. So, my friends, by pressurizing the vehicle on that inhale, what we do is essentially we're massaging all the organs. We're massaging the intestines. We're creating pressure. Our physical body and our energetic body is a system of tubes. We are a system of tubes. If we look at the skeletal, if we look at the circulatory, all the veins and arteries, if we look at the lymphatic system, even if we look at the nervous system, it seems to be this intricate system of tubes, right? Disease in the body, lack of vitality, even death is all caused from blockage. Blockage from the immortal, infinite life force that's ever present around us. When we have blockages in our body, in our meridians, in our channels, in our bloodstream, in our lymph, life doesn't flow right, and life is flow itself. So by pressurizing the vehicle on that inhale, right? Think about this on the intestines level. By inhaling and pressurizing, right? We're condensing all the intestines, that lower brain, right? And then when we exhale and we hold an emptiness, perfectly relaxed, all of a sudden we created all this new room for the intestines to do their thing, to get the blockages moving through the intestinal tract, right? So we created a pressurized environment and then a depressurized environment. In terms of neuroscience, this would be called, a polarized environment, which has energetic potential, right? To a quickly depolarized environment as the energy is released. So we're basically polarizing our whole body against other. And then when we exhale, we equalize, we depolarize and become one with the infinite cosmic light, right? On that depolarization, when we depressurize the vehicle, the lymph can start to flow, blockages will start moving. And the more we do this on a physical level, the body will start to open up. Our consciousness, our awareness will actually start to come back into our body. All of a sudden it will expand through our nervous system. And by expanding and inhabiting the body, our consciousness can become more alert, because the body is literally how we are present. We must be present through the physical vehicle. We see through the body, literally. We get into that in further energy work videos. But yeah, so on a regenerative level, breath is so powerful, okay? Furthermore, we only heal when we enter into a parasympathetic state. In a sympathetic state, we are in fight or flight. We are busy. We have a shallow breath pattern. And this shallow breath pattern is creating a shallow thought pattern. When we're in a shallow breath pattern in a sympathetic state, all we can think about is cravings, base desires, survival, fears, anxieties, worries, regrets, right? We can only think of this base reality, and we're actually thinking with our body, okay? Breath liberates that. It liberates the energy from that base thought pattern. So when we're breathing deeply, we create a deeper, slower, fuller breath pattern. This actually can bring our thought pattern up into those gamma wave states. And in those gamma wave states, we can receive thoughts, images, far beyond what we can think at a base level. We can receive inspiration. We can receive spiritual or mystical experiences, okay? But furthermore, by elevating, the consciousness and going into the parasympathetic nervous system, this is where all healing happens. Think about it. We don't actually grow muscle when we're at the gym. We grow muscle when we rest later. We don't actually regenerate until we go to sleep at night. But by doing conscious breathing, you can consciously, literally rewire your nervous system and molecular makeup of your biology. Your breath and your conscious will are magical. The more you develop these, the more capacity you have to powerfully influence the body and heal the body. All healing happens in that parasympathetic state. So my friends, I want to wrap this video up. Again, hit that like button, drop a comment below on where you want me to go, where you want me to expand on this. And this is just the breath work, energy work, kind of the basics right here for everyone new. The breath pattern, my friends, is 5 seconds in, 5 seconds 5-second hold, 5 seconds out, 5-second hold. Start there and explore, right? That's a really good basis, and that is the yang side of things. There is a yin side at the basics as well, and the yin side of that would be full body breathing. Not as much fire inside, but feeling the water outside. So maybe I'll make a separate video about the basics number 2, and that's the full body breathing. In fact, you can actually go check out past videos where I talk all about this. Just look up, Reality Files, Energy Work. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, my friends. Last thing I want to note is as you get into that practice, that's almost a TUMO practice. TUMMO is the way to look at it. The next place to go from there, I just mentioned a little bit yin breathing, but imagine you're breathing through every pore of your body as if your whole body was your lungs. I'll let you go from there. Go get my free energy work, breathwork, basic training guide, link in the description below, and share this message. Peace.